Information neighborhoods. Not all information we consume is journalistic. How else do we consume information, and what are the goals of those putting out this information? What is news literacy? News literacy is the ability to think critically, analyze, and judge the reliability of news and information, at the same time being able to distinguish between opinions, facts, and assertions. In a world where we are bombarded with information, it is important to determine that the news we consume is accurate. It is our responsibility to be news literate to have the ability to judge whether the information we are consuming is reliable and credible. According to Stony Brook University School of Journalism, the digital age poses four information literacy challenges. First one is overwhelming amount of information we consume each day makes it difficult to sort out reliable from fabricated information. Second, new technologies to share information quickly make it possible to share misinformation that might look credible. Third, the conflict between spread and accuracy has escalated, giving us the information we want in digital era increases chances of misinformation. And lastly, the internet and social media make it easier for us to only select information we want to hear. Snopes and fact checks are sites we can use to check if the information we are reading is true, especially right now with everything that is occurring because of COVID 19. There has been a lot of misleading information. Establishing works of journalism. To know what is not journalistic information, we must first know how to identify what is a work of journalism. Reliable, credible news should pass the VIA test. Did the journalist media outlet verify information? Did they work independently from interested parties? And can they be held accountable? VIA stands for Verification, Independence, Accountability. Journalistic reporting must have these three elements. Verification is collection of evidence to make clear, truthful assertions about something. Independence is freedom from outside influence that alters the scope of your story and an effort is made to be objective. And accountability is the responsibility by a content creator to answer for their work. Non-journalistic information. We are responsible for the spreading of misinformation. Information that does not have via present is not journalism. Thus, we are consuming information that belongs to another information neighborhood. Information neighborhood is the grouping of different types of presentations of information. These groups all have their own goal, method, practitioners, or presenters, and outcomes. Example, journalism, entertainment, advertising, publicity, and raw information are information neighborhoods.
We start with the information neighborhood of journalism. The goal is to inform, and we need to have the verification, independence, and accountability. So this is an e-newspaper from the LA Times with the story being by Seema Mehta. Trump defends virus restriction protests. She gets both sides of the story. She gets quotes from Trump. She gets quotes from the protesters, and she gets a counter quote from New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Both sides are represented on the topic of the protests, a piece of journalism. Next, we have entertainment. It is to amuse. We have storytelling, performance, and music. Here we see comedian John Mulaney, actor Jake Gyllenhaal, comedian, actor Fred Armisen. We have TV producer Larry David, also a comedian. We have bands in the background. This is comedy, acting, music, TV production, the whole cast there. It's a good example of entertainment. Next, we have advertising. TV networks want to sell. Anybody that has content or a product they want to sell, they use sensationalism, persuasion, brand recognition, logo recognition. Here we see the Chicago Bull made out in names of athletes, actors, celebrities, coaches. Even Barack Obama is shown there. We have the logos of ESPN, ABC, and this is for The Last Dance, a 10-part documentary on Michael Jordan. There's a lot going on here. And it tells you what it's going to be about, tells you when it's coming. And they just want you to watch. ESPN wants the viewership. And they're using the big name of Michael Jordan, of course. This is publicity. That's AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is a Bronx native, as well as Desus and Mero, the two hosts of this show, late night show on Showtime. This is from their first episode on the new network. AOC was promoting her new Green Deal, her Green New Deal, and some tax bills she was trying to pass. And Desus and Mero were uh, using her celebrity status to boost up their first episode of this new show. So it was publicity both ways. And this is propaganda. This is from a Breitbart article where they claim that Joe Biden was part of a conspiracy that made it seem like Russia had ties with our election in 2016. They're trying to paint Joe Biden as a corrupt politician and make President Trump look innocent to any collusion with any country. So we don't know how much truth there is in this story, if any, but it's obviously Breitbart. It's leaning to the right, and it's just they're trying to get power and influence for Trump and the conservatives. So that's an example of propaganda.
Raw information. The goal is to bypass. Method is social networks. Presenter is anyone with the internet. Outcome is outlet for self-expression. Remember that raw information can become information. Here we have a picture of young Bernie Sanders being arrested at a civil rights protest. Via apply to non-journalistic info neighborhoods. Like we mentioned before, without elements of VIA, information cannot be journalistic. Here we see VIA apply to other neighborhoods to give us a better understanding of the importance that VIA does. And this is comparing information neighborhoods. Truth in info neighborhoods. Deepfakes. Deepfakes refer to manipulated videos or other digital representation produced by artificial intelligence. A person's existing image or video is replaced by someone else's likeness. Here we have a picture of Amy Adams that was replaced by a Nicolas Cage deepfake, and both pictures look realistic. Stretching the truth. Also known as yellow journalism. Yellow journalism is based upon sensationalism and exaggeration. It uses shocking headlines that will most likely catch people's attention to attract more readers and increase circulation.
So we actually conducted a small survey of 16 students and 16 non-students. As you can see, students were well more adept at differentiating different kind of informational neighborhoods. I mean, they were more adept at discovering a deep fake, publicity. They were well more adept at entertainment, propaganda, and journalism. They were all like about 10% more adept at differentiating where these informational neighborhoods come from, and actually to distinct actual journalism students and non-students both performed not that well in the three characteristics that actually define journalism, which is via verification, independence, and accountability. So just generally throughout, I guess some students know the surface of media literacy and informational neighborhoods, but they don't go in depth. So this was a small survey that we conducted in order to kind of prove the importance of media literacy and how to differentiate different informational neighborhoods. So as you can see here, it's pretty obvious that media literacy is very important. And to wrap things up, it's very important to take everything into account, you know, whether that be a post online, on your phone, anywhere. It's important that we all kind of are media literate. Otherwise, we're just all just kind of amusing ourselves to death and not really paying attention to where our news is coming from. So with this, I hope you guys can go out and, you know, just venture out and just be media literate and kind of question everything that we're seeing, because in a free media kind of government, it's pretty hard to get tangled up in fake news and everything. But with these kind of steps, I hope that it's easier for all of us to be aware of this kind of thing. So that concludes our presentation, and have a great rest of your semester.